This is Fat Guy Flies RC coming to you from the man cave. Now, this is the radio. This is the radio rates and CG setup for the DHC DYNAM DHC version 2 de Havilland Beaver. All right. Now, I've already installed. I ended up in the build video. You saw that I went with a 7-channel limit RX stability. Instead, I switched that out to make it simpler. This plane should be a very simple, docile plane, so I'm going to leave it with just a regular 7-channel. You only need 5 channels, but this is what I got in stock. A 7-channel limit RX Gen 2 non-stabilized receiver, just a plain receiver. Okay. Now, that's already hooked up. It's already bound. I've already established a throttle cut, and the motor works perfectly as we already established in the build video. Okay. The ESC was perfectly calibrated because when I hit throttle, I have immediate thrust, so I'm not worried about it being out ESC being calibrated. But as I do with all my radio videos, I don't have all the control surfaces set up hooked up yet, because I want to be able to show you how to do that to make sure it's centered. Now my ailerons are going the wrong direction, but they were already hooked up, and lo and behold, they're perfectly centered. If you look at the very end and the end down here, it lines up perfectly with the little pieces of the frame. So I'm not worried about my ailerons. They're the wrong direction, but I'm not worried about them. Right now, let's turn our attention to the rudder. Okay, now, obviously it's not hooked up. You see the wheel get moving, right? Okay. Now, that rudder is at neutral position, but here's my control rod going back and forth, right? Well, it is the holes are right there. It's nowhere near, so I'm going to have to shorten that. Well, the way you do that is you're going to want to hold the rod where the rod doesn't twist, okay, and grab the clevis, okay, and start turning in or to the right. Right to tight, left to loosen, okay? I want that to start going inwards. Okay, start to get closer. Those teeth are getting closer to where I want them. Okay, so go a little bit more. Beavers love rudder, okay? So I'm going to go all the way into the closest end to get the most deflection. Remember, when you hook up closest to the control surface, that's when you get the most deflection. Okay, I'm almost there. It needs to go just a little bit more. Okay, we'll keep tightening it up a little bit more until I am happy with it. So when I hook it up, it stays in its neutral position. You want to hold that rod with a pair of pliers, though, so you're not torquing the. Okay, now that is almost perfect. See a little bit of light in the foam, the white foam there. So almost perfect. It needs to be just one more turn around. You should do it. Complete turn. And that should do it. And that does it right there. Okay, so let's get it centered just right. Okay, put that top tooth through there, and that's nice and light. Now you're going to want to clamp that together, and looky there. Now they're working together. Now, something you're going to want to do with DYNAM planes, and we'll pause for just a minute. Okay, we're back. Now, I hooked up that rudder, right? Well, these little clevises just have this little plastic nipple that goes through and it pops into place. Well, that can wear out over time and let loose. So what I like to do, since this is such a big bolty clevis, I'm not going to put fuel line over there. Instead, I'm going to take a small, cheap little zip tie, okay? And I'm going to run that zip tie and clamp that down just to hold, as a little insurance policy, to hold that clevis in place and make sure it doesn't come undone. All right. Now, obviously, I'm not going to leave that there. Okay. I'm not going to leave that antenna there. Just going to lop that off. All right. Now I don't have to worry about that coming undone. All right. We're going to repeat the same process. Same centering process for the elevator. Okay. Don't have the prop on. You're in the shop. All right. Not worried about the elevator in the right direction right now. I just want to get it set. Okay. And what I want to do is hold it where it's perfectly, where I see it's perfectly level with the front of the frame. Okay, this part here. Make sure it's perfectly level. And here the same thing. I'm going to have to twist this way in order to get this to where I want it. I would much rather have to tighten it because you can tighten it quite a bit, but you can only loosen so far. Now, I don't need as much deflection with the elevator because look at how big that control surface is. Okay, so I'm probably going to go to the middle. And that's almost perfect right there. Let's see how that looks. And I'm looking how they line up here, and that looks pretty good. All right, I think I got. I need to go down just a touch. So, just a little bit more. So maybe one more revolution. That should do it. Right. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to let that clamp down on itself. Make sure a little nipple, line that little nipple up and you'll feel it. That clamps in. Okay. So that's actually quite a lot of movement. I'm going to take my zip tie because I don't want to trust that little nipple. Okay. Take my zip tie. Now, if you can get a large piece of fuel tubing or something to go over that, that's fine. But with the way these clevises are, they're very, very bulky there, and you probably didn't break any fuel line before the zip. Whereas the zip tie, you don't have to worry about it. You're not going to have that issue. All right. So now that works. Ailerons work. Rudder works. Okay, my flaps are already got this electronically set up as one wing, one flap, but everything seems to be messed up in the wrong direction. So let's go ahead and establish correct direction on the airplane. And with an IX-14, it could not be any simpler. It's even easier than it was. Okay. Now, right aileron is wrong. Pull up on the elevator is wrong. Right rudder is wrong. Flaps, that's wrong. So everything's wrong. Everything's wrong. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to model setup. Oops, sorry. You're going to go to model adjust. Okay. Servo setup. Okay. We already know my elevator is wrong. We already know my ailerons are wrong. My rudder is wrong. See, it's already set in the reverse right there with this thumb. See my thumb? Okay. And let's see, rudder, aileron. And aux 1, which would be flaps, is right there. Ah, now look. Look at right aileron. That works. Up elevator. That works. Right rudder. That works. Flaps all work. Okay. Now, but if you look real close, look how them flaps are kind of hanging down a little bit, and they're all the way in the up position. So here's where we know that aux 1 is my flaps, okay? let's go to travel, okay, and find aux 1, which is right here, okay. All right, now I gotta get them all the way up. That's all the way down. Okay, so that's a negative, so let's take that, pull that all the way over, and look what happened. Look where they're at now. See, they're at there. They were right there at negative 114, and see how they're kind of hanging down a little bit. But when I'm going to take them all the way over to a negative 150, look at them now. Now they're perfectly level. They're there. Now that's way too much on flaps, but at least now I've got them perfectly level. My ailerons look nice and level. They look, the whole thing looks straight across. Elevator looks like it's perfect. Actually, it does need to come up just a touch. Well, here's where you can do, this is where I would trim it electronically. Looks like the elevator is kind of hanging down just a little bit. So let's go in there to subtrim, okay, elevator, okay, and I'm just going to move my slider. All right, and that's taking it down. So instead, I want to move my slider the other direction. And let's see how that looks. I went on the slider, I went up 195. Let's make it even 200. And let's see how that looks from the side. Yeah, that looks much better. Much better. That's the beauty of subtrim. Okay. All right. So now we got that. All right. Let's go to rates and expo. Ailerons are set at 100% throws, which are fine, but I like 30% expo. So I'm going to put 30% expo. Click OK. Now I'm going to switch to elevator. Okay. Hit the expo. Pull my sliders over. Come on. Then click OK. And then I'm going to go to rudder. Okay. Tap my expo and pull that over to 30%. Click OK. All right. So now that's what 100% throws, 30% expo, 100% throws, 30% expo, 100% throws, 30% expo. Let's look at those crazy flaps. Okay. Model adjust. Oh, wait. Model setup. We got to pick our aircraft type. Okay. All right. I forgot to fix what kind of wing. Okay. One aileron, one flap. I got the prop off, so it's okay. Okay. Model adjust. Now we see our flap system. Okay. I got to figure out where I'm going to put it. So I click that. Now I've just told the IX14 where I want it. So I'm going to flip my flap switch. Okay. Now it knows that that's the flap position. Okay. They were working before, but now I got correctly picked. In the 0 position, is the flap is all the way up. Okay. I'm going to hit that, and I'm going to pull this top slider all the way up, and look where the flap is now. Okay. Now, if I wanted to put in flapped elevator mix, this is where I would put this bottom slider. What I like using to start off with a high wing plane is 11% elevator mix, down elevator. Hold on. Okay. %, right off the bat. Okay. Now for business, so that's. Oh wait. I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna flaps up. Sorry. Okay. You put that back at 0. Forgot about that. Okay, so flaps up is 100%. Okay, so for takeoff flaps, or position 1, okay, pull that slider, you're going to go negative. Well, maybe. Hold on. Oh, wait, you got to actually put it in the position. Okay, and I'm thinking, going out of focus here, I'm sorry. Looks like 50%. See, that's what takeoff flaps look like, 50%. Okay, and let's do the elevator mix. Okay. And we'll do 11% down elevator. Okay, now watch the, see, look at that elevator go down just a touch. Okay, all right, now position 2, which will be landing flaps. Okay, actually put it in position 2, pull that all the way over. Let's take it, leave it at 0. Well, leave it at 0, and then for the landing, for the mix, take that up to, sorry, I'm holding this and it keeps going out of focus. Take it up to 25. Or you know what, take it 22. 22. Okay, so, all right, flaps are up, and that's what it looks like. Okay, see the positions? Takeoff flaps, that's what it looks like. See the elevator go down just a little bit? And this is landing flaps. Big old barn doors, and that's got a 22% down elevator mix. You can kind of see the elevator move just a little bit. Now, let's put in here and put speed in. Okay? Just keep pulling it up. I'm going to put it at 1 second delay. Okay? You know what? Let's make it a 2 second delay. Oh, not 3 seconds, not 4 seconds. All right, now how's that look? Here's your 2 second delay. All right. All right. Let's cover. Now we know that we're going to use 100% throws over 30% expo. Okay. We know what that looks like. Got our flaps set at flaps up at 100%, positive 100% with no mix. Our takeoff flaps are 50% positive with 11% down elevator. And then landing is going to be 0% with a 22% down elevator mix. Okay, let's talk about one of the other more important things in this plane, and that's CG. Now I've got a 2700 4S in there right now, which is what I'm going to run, and that's as big as going to fit in there. Okay, and I'm going to hope and pray that that makes the CG right, because there is very little room, wiggle room for your CG. Okay, and unfortunately for this step, we're going to make sure our throttle cut is on, but we're going to have to put the prop on. Okay, for the simple reason that adds weight, and that does affect the CG. So let me disassemble this and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Now, CG on this plane, and that's, don't worry about that chatter, that's just your DYNAM servo chatter, and then it'll work its way out eventually. Probably because there's a little bit of pressure on that tail wheel, but it'll work itself out. That's just DYNAM for you. Don't let that bother you. 45 to 50 millimeters back from the leading edge of the front of the wing. All right, so let's measure that. Now how you mark CG, so I take a caliper, All right, we said 45 to 50, right? 45 to 50. And my memory just went just that quick. 45 to 50 from the leading edge. So, I'm going to take my caliper, and I'm going to put 50 here, okay? And I'm going to mark it. I'm going to do it on the underside of the wing because I don't want marks. Okay? So, take my, that's one of them flap servos making that noise. Yeah, okay. All right. I'm going to set this at 50. Okay. And I'm going to take my Sharpie. Okay. Make my first mark 50. Take it down to 45. Okay. Mark it there. Okay. Now on this side, put it back at 50. Take it down to 45. Okay. Now, what that does, hush. All right, what that does is just, you'll feel the red, and you'll feel this little section panel here, right between those. Right between those is your CG. So here's our moment of truth. This is what you do on the field. Put your fingers on them black marks, preferably right in the middle. Okay. And look at that. She just about CG's perfect. And let's really prove it. Let's put her on the CG machine. And the elusive, hard to find, hard to ever get CG machine. I don't know if the struts might be in the way. So I don't know. Huh? Maybe not. Struts are going to block it. And if I go from this direction, maybe. Nope, now the landing gear is going to be in. So let's put it on top. We know it's just beyond the red. Okay? So we'll put it on top. Alright. Just beyond that red. Boy, it's really pivoting. See if I can get it to balance right there. That's almost perfect. I mean, it's not like very obviously wanting to go one way or the other. That's pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. So right there, 45 to 55, or 45 to 50, right there, right just past that red. Okay, and just past the red is going to give you perfect CG. All right. What else we got, folks? What else do we got? Got the big old spongy wheels on there. Prop, like I said, the prop. Oh, and the prop was perfectly balanced. I put it on the balance machine; it stayed perfect fine. There's many videos on how to balance a prop, and I think I've even got one. But it's just a matter of you put it on a balance machine, like I've got, and one prop keeps favoring the other, keeps dropping, and then you just keep sanding on the back side. Take some sandpaper and sand on the back side until you get where the prop just kind of lingers both, just stays even on the machine. It's all you're looking to do. Well, there you go, folks. We went over CG, went over the rates. We're going to set our timer for 5 minutes for the initial flight. Rates 100% throw, 30% expo. CG is 45 to 50 millimeters back from the leading edge of the wing, which puts it right past this red thing. The only thing I got left to do is put the stickers on it, and I'll probably give it a clear coat. Other than that, that's pretty much it. That is the radio, rates radio, and CG setup for the DYNAM DHC BEAVER version 2, sent to me by FPV Builds and Tech up in West Babylon, New York. Thank you so much, Anthony and Jackie, for sending that out to me and for review. And I look forward to the next time review. They sent it to me, and this one I've had, other than the instructions are very unclear. I mean, basically it just says take screw and screw it in. They don't really label the screws, and you've got these little miserable pictures that are so tiny, and it's all one page. Okay, so you're kind of in the dark. You have to use dead reckoning to try to figure it out. So just take your screws, put them in. But look at how many screws are left over, and the build is done. I know at least over half of these would be putting in those gate-looking things to hold the floats together. And for that, and you do have an extra Y that goes for so you have interrupt the rudder lead, because you have a working rudder, a servo rudder on the floats. And what this light controller is for, I have no idea, because I don't know of any 4-position servo plugs, so I have no idea what this is. There's nothing in the instructions. But there again, you say, well, I don't want that. I don't want DYNAM. Listen, the plane is going to fly great, and it went together pretty good. All right. However, you take a big old Beaver plane from E-flite that has flaps, that has lights, runs on 4-cell. I guarantee it's going to be the better part of $400. It's going to be like $389. Well, this was, I think, $225. Okay, so you're gonna pay at least a third less price for the DYNAM product than you are for the E-flite product or the FMS product. Okay, and you're gonna have just as much fun with it. And you just gotta put a little work into it. That's just all. You gotta put a little bit of work of putting these things together, and you have to use your brain and your noggin. But what I like about it is because I've had to physically go through, touch every piece. I've had to put everything together. I've gotten, physically intimate with this plane, and I've had every little, with the E-flite, FMS, and all them planes. Oh, they're great products. I mean, I've got tons of them, right? And free wing and all that. Yeah, they're meant to go together quickly to get you to feel flying quickly. Okay, DYNAM forces you to take the time to make sure your servos are centered, make sure everything's trimmed, make sure everything's working right. Check all your servos first. You have to put the work in. Okay. And a lot of people don't like that, then DYNAM is not going to be for you. You're going to be frustrated by it. But this is great building experience, okay? And that will pay you big dividends whenever later on you go and you have a problem with your E-flite or your free wing or your FMS plane. You got to take a sucker apart and figure out how to put it together and how to fix it. Well, because you have build experience from DYNAM's, it'll be less challenging for you, okay? This is why that's one of the charms of DYNAM. Their servos are going to chatter. They're going to fight you in the build. They're going to fight you getting trim. But at the end of the day, you're rewarded with a great, very tough. I have found DYNAM planes can take tumbles, can take crashes a lot better than any other plane out there. They really are tough. But you got to work at them, and you got to put some effort in. But that's part of modeling. And it gives you an appreciation of the more expensive models. Okay, this is why I recommend DYNAM. I do recommend them. I used to hate them, big source of headaches for me, but I keep buying them and I keep getting them and I keep reviewing them for a reason. God bless y'all. Don't forget to like and subscribe. God bless each and every one of my wonderful tubinators. Hey, Anthony, Jackie at FP Builds and Tech. Thank you for the plane. It's awesome. Can't wait to fly it. Get y'all a maiden. God bless y'all. And don't forget, faith, family, and friends, God is great, and beaver to have ones. Bye-bye. It's pretty! Gotta put the stickers on there. Bye.